Yeah, indeed. What a weekend of rugby, and talk about it on the Champagne Rugby Podcast. It is me, Tony Lyall, with...
Me, Sam Smith, with...
And me, James McOnie.
Look at that, we did our own introductions, which seems a bit weird. Coming to you live, sort of live, from the Export Beer Garden studio to talk about the footy. And what a weekend of footy it was. The All Blacks played Springboks, not the Springboks, just Springboks.
They got some gazelles out there.
They did.
And the gazelles were much faster than them, but they have very poor ball handling skills.
They did. They've got cloven hoof, which is always hard to hold a ball with a cloven hoof, in my experience. Of course, on Saturday night at Mount Smart Stadium, and, well, it was a good old-fashioned barnstorming, almost hiding. 41-12 they won in the end. I was very aroused, and we're here to talk about it. Sam seems to be waving his finger around.
That wasn't the score.
What, 41-12?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It was 35-23, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely 45-23.
25-20.
What I've done is I've written down the Argentinian game score from 2 weeks ago. 35-20. 35. If you ever say we don't know our stuff here at Champagne Rugby Podcast, you can go fuck yourself, because I said the wrong score and Sam instantly corrected me. It is 35-20.
I corrected you with the wrong score as well.
And I got the right score, didn't I?
Yeah,
35-20 is the score.
Yeah, good on you, McOnie.
41-12 was from the Argentina game the week before.
That's right.
So, we still have won by that much. But
We definitely watched the game, though.
Shit, yes. I watched the hell out of it.
How about the All Blacks coming out of the blocks? It's like a prize fighter who just wanders across and starts pounding the crap out of someone. I did see that in Fight for Life once and felt sorry for the other guy. Was it Stephen McIver?
I think it was Stephen McIver.
Yeah.
It was Bill English fought that guy, and his name was like the Horse or something, and he was the singer of the band that was there, and he just got out and absolutely trounced this nerd. It was awesome.
Yeah, there's a
It's
few of
very
those
cool,
lopsided matches in Fight for Life. I remember one time a Wairangi Korpu went out and fought someone, and the other guy, had a singlet on, he had headgear on, and then Wairangi walks out looking like he's carved out of marble, no singlet on, no headgear, and the fight was over before it started. I was like, this is so unfair. Wairangi, how old must Wairangi be? And he still looks like he could probably run and play NRL today.
I know exactly how old he is, because he's 40, and 5 years ago when he turned 35 or 36, I drafted him into our over 35s touch team, and shit, we were good. Shit, we're finally good. But the best thing about it is on our WhatsApp chat, all the lads are claiming, sort of claiming credit, going, oh man, we're just going so well, and shit, we won the final and blah, blah, blah. And I'd always reply, if I wasn't at the game, how many tries did Wairangi score? Three or four, maybe? I don't know.
He set up quite a few as well. He did play shirtless for quite a lot of the time.
That's it. So when the All Blacks came out, I was just going, fuck, this is just another level of intensity, the speed. And the All Blacks, I had looked on the old stats machine thingy that we get. It's an email from a statistician who Sky hires. And that we have the fastest ruck turnover, and I reckon it must have gone up another level, because every attack just seemed to be just pounding into them. And then the level of certain players, Shannon Frizzell, holy crap, what a game.
Moly.
What a game.
What a game indeed. And I think that game obviously was covered on the ACC, all that coverage brought to you by Hundy. And we've got some of the audio I think we can play from that Shannon Frizzell try where he donned a Lomu cape and went apeshit.
Centre field. Smith goes to the left-hand side. Jordan sees half a gap. Flips it up. Here comes Frizzell. Frizzell will score down the left-hand side. Shannon Frizzell and the All Blacks 15-0.
Shannon Frizzell's had a massive start to the game, decides to go full Jonah Lomu. Over the top.
Yeah, what a moment.
Was the Mike Cat.
LaRue copped an absolute noggin to the solar plexus that, you wouldn't believe. He sort of caught him off guard, stumbling into him, which did remind me, I think that's why it looks so much like Lomu, because he's off guard, so all his weight is coming for him. He ran over, and you can just imagine him being like, fuck. This is going to suck.
Oh, look, there's a giant running towards me. Great.
But also, a bit like Mike Cat, LaRue has won a World Cup. So, every cat has its day, maybe.
That was good.
I like it.
really like that.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, okay, we'll allow it.
I just want to go back a bit, because I think the way we really got into South Africa's head before the game is the haka. Because we didn't do kamati. Which we save for the big games.
No.
We did kapo panga.
I think we do kapo panga in New Zealand.
I think kapo panga, they mix it up. But they went for kapo panga because usually I always think that's the maximum, this game isn't getting any bigger. You know what I mean? Don't you feel? Do you feel it's the other way
I
around?
feel it's the other way around. Am I wrong on this?
No. You're mixing,
I think you are wrong. I think
haka.
for the big games, they always do a kapōpanga these days. Probably since they won, I think 2015 World Cup, doing it in the final. They've probably done it all the big games since then.
You've got to mix them a haka.
Okay, I'm mixing up my hackers.
But still, it was good. Aaron Smith leading it. Jeez, he's a little mana-filled man, isn't he?
Who's going to do it once he's gone?
Oh, get Sam Cane in there. I always liked it when Richie McCaw led the haka.
When he did it,
I
it
thought
was
there was a nice, it was slightly more awkward, probably less fluid than it might be. Maybe even, a little bit offensive. But it was kind of
nice.
nice.
Ground up that you thought, come on, Richie, don't do that, mate.
That wasn't great.
No, well, look, I mean, the thing about it is just seeing Richie commit fully, it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that's when the captain decided, well, shit, I'm going to do this thing. It's not necessarily, I think in terms of protocol, it was actually a good development. It's like nothing wrong with the captain leading it. Obviously, finding a Māori man with mana in the team who's going to basically own it and has the skills. The thing is with Aaron, remember they took it off him for a little while, because of the toilet thing?
The toilet tryst.
Yeah, the tryst. But then I'm so glad to see it back with him, because it means a lot to him, and that's why you can feel it. And my biggest issue with the haka is they don't let the opposition team close enough to them.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever seen a great kapa haka group or any haka, the way to get the full wairoa out of it is to be close. Yeah. If you're 20 metres away, it's like, excuse me, I can see you vaguely. In my eyes are shit. It's like, but, like you've got to be close.
And there's a cameraman lying on the ground like a sniper in between them. Like, get him out of there.
An audio guy.
Yeah, just like some guy who's like, another day at work, like checking his phone in between them. We need to make it just nice.
It's got to be intimate. It's got to be intimate. And maybe even if they said the halfway is the line, it's the line, the demarcation, which is still a full 10 metres from where they are now. That would be quite cool, because I could see the All Blacks going, well, if the halfway is the line, we'll go to the line
as
well,
and the games you remember, the ones that are always the best, it's when the
other team advances, the other team just fucks off into the changing rooms, and you're like, whoa, shit.
France doing the flying V at the 2011 World Cup final.
It's Campese just kicking the ball around at the back like an absolute fuckwit.
Yeah, and he got for that.
You know how Wales had a big whinge about the haka once, and they stayed in the changing rooms. I think you're right. But if those teams were allowed on halfway, closer to the haka, they would actually get something out of it as well, more out of it. So that's the thing. You get that wairoa out of the haka, you're feeling pumped. Yeah. At the moment, a lot of those Anglo-Saxon teams are like, you guys get a warm-up while we have to stand here pissing around. And it's like, well, you wouldn't be if you were closer. You'd be all like, fucking bring it on.
Yeah. That's why I love it when you see someone who'll be watching it and they'll be smiling away, nodding their head, like geeing them up. And people say, oh, it's just... I'm a big fan, and this is probably not culturally sensitive, but I think you kind of should be able to do whatever you want while they're doing the haka. Like, if someone wants to go into the sheds, like, I say that is an offensive thing to do, but if that's what they want to do, then who are we to stop them from doing it? Because we've said we want to do this challenge to you. Yeah. They don't necessarily have to stand there and take it, and that's what they probably should do. But if they want to go kick the ball, I think they should do that. But I don't know why anyone wouldn't go and watch it and get G'd up and soak in that scent, as you said, the wider, let it flow through them.
You've got to go and experience it up close. You'll get so much out of it. Yeah. Then here's, on the back of your neck, stand up, then you're ready. They're ready. It's like, let's get ready to rumble. Whereas at the moment, I just feel that 20 metres is like, come on now. Yeah. And you're right about the guy who's like another day at work, like, I'm just doing this, I'm on an hourly rate, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's just completely cheesed. I've seen 13 huckers in the last 10 months.
Oh, my God. Another haka.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just got to get through the haka, then I get offside, I can go get a cup of tea. I'm so wet.
Imagine when they brought in kapōpanga, imagine the cameraman who's filmed like 50 years of the exact same one, and he's like, yeah, we got a new one.
Yeah, well, it's when they first did the flying V that I thought that changed it a lot in terms of filming, because they get that low angle of Sam Cane's crotchal region. Yeah, nice. So they're usually flanked by... Well, to be fair, they'll get some of the guys who know it a little bit better than Sam side by side. Not that Sam doesn't know the haka. I don't want to say that.
Sam Cane
that's
did a beautiful throat slip.
Remember when, not too long ago, was it this season or last season, someone did a throat slit gesture during the game, and it was front page news.
Yeah, he got yellow carded for doing the kapōpanga throat
It was Soviet,
and then now
right?
we're all throat slitting in the haka, and everyone's like, yes, throat slit.
Yeah.
I think I made the point maybe on this podcast that I'd much rather have someone do that than actually stand on your foot deliberately trying to break your hand, which is pretty much what used to happen in rugby back in the day. Back in the day, it's like someone's got your hand, they're like, oh no, fuck, because I'm just trying to rip it off, you know, rip fingers off and shit like that. And so I'd much rather have people just making threats.
Yeah.
Much better.
Threats are much better. So if you're out there and you're angry at someone, don't assault them. Just threaten
to assault them.
Threaten grievous bodily harm.
That's right.
As that's sort of okayed by James McOnie.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. If we were, if you're downtown and rather than a fight, everyone's just doing kapa pango to everyone, that's way better, isn't it?
Yeah, nice.
I think it's
better.
Yeah, that is way better than actually fighting. I mean, it might make a few viral videos, but not as many as... And how Twitter's full of fight videos, isn't it?
It really is.
Bloody hell.
If you get to, you must be in a rabbit hole. You know it's an algorithm. It gives you what
But I don't
you
like
enjoy
them.
watching.
I don't
Stop
like-
watching them then.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That's how the algorithm works. The more you watch, the more it gives you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they are to start off with. It's just...
It's just two shirtless men. I'm thinking, here we go. And then
There
they
you
start
go.
fighting. And I'm like,
Wait a minute.
No, well, look, it could be a dance battle. I don't know what the hell's going on. But
Yeah,
then when you
that's true.
click on it, it's like, oh, right, okay.
I thought I was in for Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. And now I'm getting two men stomping on each other. It's not what I signed up for at all.
Did you ever notice that Waltzing Matilda, like, is that Australia's national anthem? It's something like that. And they, Waltzing Matilda is not a waltz. It's not in 3/4 timing.
Oh, right.
But do you know what it is? Kamate, the haka.
Oh,
That's-
1, 2,
that's-
3, 1, 2, 3.
Kamate,
Which I think would
kamate.
add a new dimension to it if during the haka, two of the players did do a waltz in front of the
it would be
haka.
Yeah, it is,
fantastic.
it is.
I think we're playing Australia in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Aaron Smith, just start singing Waltzing Matilda. Let's see what happens. Mix
at
it
the
up, it'll
start.
freak him out.
Oh,
Exactly
we're doing
We're
Waltzing
doing
Matilda.
it to Australia, being like, look, mate, and we'll do
No. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
No.
I was just thinking maybe rather than waltzing Matilda, we do kapa pango,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, you lift up a koala and you slit its throat.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yep.
I once
That's
heard
real
a
good.
story, and this is coming to you straight from...
It's a bit messy,
Yeah.
but I feel like it would actually have a huge impact,
think
and
you can-
that
yeah.
video would go viral.
You can really see like the symbolism in that.
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna murder this koala and
That
we're
has
gonna
chlamydia.
and we're gonna beat you guys by probably like 50 points.
That's it.
And then
Yeah,
I'd like to
that's
see Sam Kane play the game with it on its head.
Yeah.
Just sort of...
That's his headgear throughout the game.
Puts it on his
Yeah,
head.
Like an
it's great.
Ewok, he's running around like he's just killed an Ewok, and he's just basically going, "Listen, look at me. Your national symbol, your pride and joy, the koala is on my head as it bleeds down my face."
I once heard a story, and I don't know, this is probably told to me in confidence, but it's been a long time since it was told to me. So, what is that rule that means time passes so you can't get into trouble anymore? Doesn't matter. Might not be a rule. But there was a game between Otago and Canterbury back in the good old days when, men were men and everyone probably said offensive things all the time.
Yep.
But at a halftime break, the coach of, I believe, the Otago team, who might have been Grizz Wiley at the time, walked in, and to motivate the team, he walked in with a black sack. And one of the players told me the story. He had a black sack, like a black rubbish bag. And he brought it in, and they were like, geez, there's some weight in that rubbish bag. Like, what is in that rubbish bag? And he pulled it out, and it was the carcass of a dead lamb. And he pulled it over his head and slammed it onto the floor of the changing shed. And said, that's what we're going to do to those Canterbury fuckers. We're going to show them just like we showed that lamb. And some of the players were like, that's a bit much.
A lamb.
It's dead.
That's a baby
Who
sheep.
did this?
Grizz
I
Wiley.
believe this is Grizz Wiley.
Like, Grizz
and if it
Wiley-
wasn't Grizz Wiley, I would like to completely...
He's the coach of Canterbury, so how can he show the Canterbury fuckers?
I think he was the coach of Otago at the time.
wasn't he?
This is a very
Grizz.
long time ago. I believe so. I could be getting all the names wrong, but this is the yarn that
I
I've
don't
heard.
know. Yeah. So he slammed the lamb and then they played the Rams. Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, I think I don't know if they went on to win.
Whoa, Black Betty, slam the lamb. Whoa, Black Betty.
Yeah, it's
slam
definitely
the lamb.
potential that I've confused a few players there. So, Grizz, if you are listening, which I'm assuming you do, as you always do, and you didn't do that, let us know. And if you did do that, then God bless you, I guess.
I love the idea that turns out it wasn't Grizz Wiley. It wasn't even rugby. It was in a netball game, and
It wasn't a lamb, it was a koala.
It was just at the pub.
it's in the future in the next game that we play against Australia.
That's what happened, yeah.
And if I'm not on the podcast next week, it's probably because I'll be in court for defaming Grizz Wiley.
Wiley, yeah.
But, it was a long, I believe this must have been 30 years ago. So, statute of limitations, that's what I was trying to think of before.
Yeah, statute of liberties.
It all comes back.
You're taking massive liberties with your statues there.
Yeah.
I also think that maybe the koala thing might work with a cuddly one, but it's just not the same impact, isn't it? It's not going to... It still might go viral, but that's the thing, because that's what you want. You want views on TikTok, don't you?
That's right.
That's what the All Blacks are after.
Yeah.
Forget the World Cup.
Yeah.
You want some bloody TikTok views.
Yeah, I think they would certainly get it. They has to be live. Has to be live at the start anyway. I mean, they don't have that time allocated to do the haka. Like, they never said you have to do a haka. Like, that's just allocated time.
They could just do some stand-up for a minute.
It's just a run sheet. Yeah, it'd be great. I did some, after the game, we will get back to the game if you were sitting there going, oh, Jesus.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Managed to do some media with a couple of the players after the game. It was a real treat to get to go talk to a couple of the boys. And had a yarn with Dane Coles. And I think he might take up stand-up comedy when he finishes his rugby career. He expressed an interest. He was like, oh, yeah, so what's it like? Is it scary? And they were
amazing.
Like, they asked me, oh, it must be pretty scary. Oh, it must be pretty scary. And I was like, you guys play rugby against the biggest men to have ever lived. What are you talking about? I just stand up and tell jokes in front of strangers. And they were all three of them, Ethan de Groot, Sam Whitelock, and Dane Coles were like, oh, no, it's different. They're still pretty bloody scary. And I was like, am I the cool one here? This is the greatest moment of my life.
And then they shut that down and went, no,
ma'am.
we're just asking you questions about your career and being polite.
Yeah, they were just being polite, to be fair. Very polite.
How was old Sam Whitelock?
He was great.
He seemed like a great guy.
He was a lovely guy. I ate a piece of his sushi on camera. And he goes, yeah, good, that's good for the joke. And then sort of off camera, he goes, yeah, but if you touch another piece, we're going to have a problem.
Great. Did he actually?
No, it was a good joke.
Oh.
He's a lovely chap.
He's a good lad.
He is a good lad.
I love him.
The other thing is that, Sam, for to your point where you've got those few minutes, you could use it to do some stand-up, or I don't know if you said that, Tony. But anyway, if someone did, that's your big opportunity because you got eyeballs. You just grab the guy, the bored sound guy, you grab his mic.
Yeah.
And you go, what is it about showers? Half these guys wear their undies, and we know, but the locks don't, and we all know why, don't we, ladies? Whatever, I don't know.
Have you guys ever noticed that Waltzing Matilda's not a waltz?
Yeah, why do they call them shower heads anyway? It's not like they have a body. And then
this is good shit. Let's try this.
This is real good.
And we've got like a lot of All Black firsts these days. Like we've recently had the first gay All Black to come out. Now maybe it is time to have the first All Black stand-up comedian. Yeah. I think we are progressive enough as a country that could be a thing.
That's great.
That's it. Yeah, maybe it is time.
Who do you reckon is the funniest All Black?
I don't know. I listened to a podcast once with Ethan Blackadder, and he made me laugh a lot.
Blackadder.
I think he's a good team man.
Give him a series. They can call it Blackadder. It'll go really well.
Blackadder goes 6 because he's number 6, right? It's
yeah.
Yeah. But what about Richard Kahui? Very funny. Naturally funny. Almost like a Will Ferrell sort of funny.
Wow.
I've done a few sort of skits with him on Crowd Goes Wild, and he was a massive go-to. It's like we need Kahui.
Mertz as well. Mertz is on my mind is a big funny guy.
Mertz is a raconteur. He's a lively. He is very funny, and could do stand-up, but then I feel like he'd need his material locked in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Angus Tarvell.
Yeah.
Funny.
He's
great.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's great, but enough of this. They've already taken all the commentary jobs that exist, all the jobs in media. Now I don't know if we need to then take stand-up comedy as well. They've already got the All Blacks. Can't they just have that and that's it?
Yeah,
I realise I'm
hating
this idea more and more.
Is that the sketch though, where you have the All Blacks come in, you're getting replaced by an All Black? It's not AI, it's by ABs, you know?
Yeah.
And so you sort of start off because literally they sort of pile in this, they take over, TV jobs and they're everywhere. And then now it's like in your place of work, it's like, no, sorry, we got these All Blacks are coming in.
I thought that next year this podcast is going to be hosted by just the front row.
Dane Coles, Sam Whitelock.
To be fair, the front row is a great name for a rugby podcast that is hosted by. I mean, that has to be.
That is a great.
That has to be something already.
Can we switch brands, or because I feel like Champagne Rugby is attached to the commentary. Can we be front row? I'm just trying to
front row. Yeah,
the front row. I mean, I like it.
It means I'm the hooker. Yeah. I've always wanted to be a hooker.
That is. Nice. I think we've got some more of this commentary to play. Speaking of the commentary,
Oh, cool.
From a particularly spicy moment.
We have a neck roll in the middle of the field on the 5-metre line by 5 green. 5 green.
Oh, so knock on by 5 green?
Where you are on the
neck roll.
line.
Okay, knock on.
Yes.
neck roll, monsieur.
Neck roll.
Jeez, that took a while, didn't it? A bit of a communication breakdown. Knock on. No, neck roll. Knock on. Neck roll. Knock on. Neck roll.
Like, necrophilia.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, I understand.
Oui, monsieur.
Yeah,
necrophilia.
Of necrophilia, yes. It is a problem, of course, when the people are dead and then someone jumps on top.
Well, some insightful rugby commentary there, McOnie, some necrophilia chat and
Necrophilia.
Necrophilia.
Yeah, come on,
necrophilia.
That's what we're talking about. And I mean, obviously, for the Frenchman to understand that obviously the TMO had to come down and say no, like necrophilia. And he goes, oh, yes, of course. You could hear the referee there going, yeah, there's a problem when someone is dead and then the people, they lie on top and then, one thing leads to another.
Is it a problem?
Necrophilia.
Who's it a problem for?
Oh.
I think it's desecrating a dead body,
Okay.
which is a crime.
I was just asking an open-ended question. I wasn't.
Yeah, cool. You just wanted to find out the specific rules around.
I was just seeing what the
body.
vibe was. And
That's such a Dunedin thing to say, isn't it? It's like, are we okay?
I just wanted to make sure that the listeners out there had the picture painted for them adequately as to why this is something that they shouldn't do. And you painted it well. I have agreed with you the whole time.
Yep. I'm just a bit uncomfortable sitting next to Tony Lyall.
I think the Dunedin sound has been inspired by necrophilia.
You're alive, mate. You've got nothing to worry about. I think you're safe as houses.
Oh boy.
It would be pretty sad though if you finally, someone really hot wanted to get on top when you're dead. You know what I mean? Like that would be sad. That would be sad.
Rigor mortis, eh? They
Yeah.
say you go all stiff then.
It's like at least happen when, yeah.
Well, this could be the grimmest chat that we might have ever had on Champagne Rugby Podcast, so that's nice. I like that we've hit a low.
Can I quickly change the subject to how amazing Mr. Will Jordan is?
Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a great segue. Was there a segue there?
Speaking of fucking dead bodies,
Yeah, there we go.
do you know what that reminds me of? People have fucking great bodies,
Yeah.
and that
Yes.
man is Will Jordan.
That's it.
Woo-hoo,
I feel like
explain
it's
it,
that
man.
thing. There's been a lot of chat all season about how we're going to fit all the players we have in. And I feel like it's finally sort of gelling. I don't know, it seems to be taking a while, but even Beauden Barrett, it seems to be, I don't know what it is. Something has just clicked into place. Will Jordan on the wing, but sort of with license to roam as if he was sort of a fullback also. He was everywhere.
Your
Hitting that-
three sort of pivot at the back, so it's nice having a gangbuster winger like Talia or Whainganuku. I really want to see him actually have a turn if he can. Hopefully, maybe in a couple of weeks. But yeah, those three at the back, you're pretty.
Well, I think that's the one spot that's up for grabs. So they've moved Talia over to the left. He's bloody good, and of course that means you've got the super wheels, you've got the slipperiness, and the loving contact sort of winger as well. So he can do the power moves as well. But I think that Lester Whainganuku has to be seen there at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
But I reckon Barrett and Jordan, you can almost lock them in.
Yeah.
And then we've got to find out what we do with number 10. But Richie Mo'unga, I always feel like if somebody has played that well for that many seasons and has had, X amount of All Blacks tests, they must be getting to the point where they're finally cracking the code at test level, which it looked like that, didn't it, with Richie Mo'unga on Saturday night. But then remember at the last, have we messed around our 10s? This is the point. Before the last World Cup, Beauden Barrett was World Player of the Year twice. And then we switched him. Then we switched him. I thought maybe he was just getting to that point.
Yeah.
So with Richie Mo'unga, he's just won 7 titles, Super Rugby, and done his apprenticeship as an All Black or whatever, or, 4 years of doing, playing number 10. It's not really doesn't feel like it's a time to switch. You know what I mean? Like that's where you have to say, well, you've done all that sort of stuff. You've had some good and bad, and you've been through the Ireland situation, all that sort of stuff. Now do you actually just go, it's your jersey, off you go?
I think you have to. And the way he played on the weekend sort of showed it. He was sort of pulling the strings around him for those other players, loosening them up, getting them everywhere, getting them into space, like we've seen him do at the Crusaders, but I guess almost like you're sort of saying like he hasn't quite been able to do in that black jersey just hasn't been able to cement it. I mean, the fact that we're still having the conversation after him playing, winning 7 titles and still not being 100% the number one first choice 10, I guess that shows that doubt. But I think now we're onto the winning formula.
I feel like that doubt has come in basically because D-Mac's been amazing as well, and Bodie's an amazing 10 as well. So we've got, that's kind of, if there was no one else around, we would have been like, fuck yeah, Mo'unga, yeah, shit yeah.
Agreed.
And I feel like that anyway, because I think he's
We've never had
I want
that.
him to be my best friend.
You do want him to be your best
do. You
mate.
said this
And-
every
He
time.
would message us on the podcast. Oh,
Yeah, he did.
McOnie, it was incredible. He sent us a
Did he?
message. It was like, appreciate the support, boys. And oh, man.
Sam messaged me privately asking me if it was real.
Yeah,
it was
like,
very sweet.
I was like, was that a joke? Like, did he
Oh,
actually
wait a second.
message us?
Was that, because I got a message from him as well. Was that thing that we posted a couple of weeks ago, or was it a previous one?
It might have been something previous. Maybe when my wife was saying that he was hot. Because I mean, I've seen this before on the podcast, but several times when he's been on the screen, my wife, in different games, sometimes same time, multiple game, she'll be like, who's that?
Who's the number 10?
Who's that guy? And I'm like, oh, every time you're asking.
Yeah, we haven't had that depth at 10. It's just crazy. Now, this is the best. Every single nation would probably pick those three guys as their 10s. I mean, if you think that Sexton and Farrell, they're pretty happy with that. Intermac, they're pretty happy, but for the next two, they'd take any of those three, I reckon. So,
Well, Sexton, when he's not just obliterating a
abusing the
referee,
refs.
chasing someone back to their house in his car and yelling at his wife and kids. Not that he did that, but he almost did
He's
that.
the kind
it
of
was
guy that
after the
would.
game. The game had finished, and he walked up to him and was staring him down, apparently. He walked up to the officials after the medal presentation and gave him the death stare.
He's
So
38 years old, that bad. You think you can't, people normally like settle down a bit more as they get older and get a bit more.
It's pretty hilarious
wiser.
behaviour to be
And
like,
Sexton
I'm
is-
going to go and look at him. I'm going to go just look at this guy. Oh, I'm looking at him.
that was the European final that
Yeah.
was in Dublin. His team, Leinster, lost to La Rochelle, and then he pretty much did what all the Chiefs fans did to Ben O'Keefe, but he
Yeah.
did it all at once, up
One
close.
person, yeah.
One
One
person.
person.
He was closer because he got to feel all the way to it. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's right. It's like that's how you actually get feeling some abuse from an angry rugby player. It's like you got to get up close.
Yeah, and there really is that thing, they tell men to express themselves. Guys, you can't bottle it up. And then when you do, you get in trouble. I mean, what do they want? Sexton must have been like, what do you want from me? I'm just expressing myself by eyeballing the ref after the game.
Can I just say as well, I'm just going back to the fact that we're trying to, when we're picking an All Blacks lineup, we've just been like, man, who are we going to have at fullback? Are we going to have Jordan? Are we going to have Geordie Barrett? Are we going to have Bodie Barrett? And we've just been like, let's get all three of them on, and we'll just put them in different places. We should get Sean Stevenson as well. We'll chuck him, in lock or something. We'll just get all the fullbacks we can on the field and give them all a try, and it'll be amazing.
I'd love to see Sean Stevenson at lock. And that would be,
I think he'd probably be quite good.
get him on the field.
He's
I
a
agree.
great player.
Yeah.
You know what? If Will Jordan, because he's had the concussion, the vertigo thing, hello, he's had all of that, and then he's come back and played and just shown he's the class act.
Yeah.
But if we can't have Will Jordan out there, I would want Sean Stevenson out there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think you
He's
need
great.
that amount of X factor because Will Jordan's got that, and he just does things at the right time. He's got enough pace to scare people. It's brilliant.
I think he's a very smart man, which there are lots of those amongst the rugby community.
He's hot too.
But that's what I was getting to, yeah. But he's smart enough to decide to be hot.
Yeah.
And that makes him really appealing to watch.
Yeah.
Well, one of our listeners or viewers on the ACC texted in saying, "Is he too conventionally hot that he won't get you that excited?" That they, I think the viewer may have said, may not get as wet as when they're faced with someone who's a bit more rough and ready. He's just too clean cut for them. They wanted a bit more danger in their life.
Yeah,
So they were
yeah.
sort of saying, "Give me Sam Cane," and whatever. They were just listing other All Blacks who would they'd feel there's a bit more of a bad boy element.
Yeah,
He's
Sam
just-
Cane, certainly the girth is impressive. The girth of the neck alone.
Seems like he's a broad man.
He really is.
I was just thinking before when you said that players need to express themselves, and I was thinking, it's like the last time I've heard of someone expressing themselves was somebody at work. Anna was breastfeeding and they had to express themselves, right? And I was like, is that what Madonna is actually singing about when she's singing "Express Yourself"?
Is that a Madonna song?
Isn't it?
Express yourself.
That's
that.
Yeah, you're right. That one as well. Does she do a "Express Yourself"?
Yeah.
You've got to
yeah,
make
yeah.
I think she is talking about
Hey.
pumping and dumping.
Pumping. Yeah.
Maybe you're breastfeeding and you've had a few drinks and you need to go home to the baby and you've got to get rid of some of the milk because it's filled to the brim with bourbon, so you get rid of it. It could be that.
Pump it and dump it. Nice.
Another man we have talked about, and he was in that very first
good.
montage, but we haven't actually gone back to it, is old Shannon Frizzell.
Oh,
What a guy.
Highlanders.
He's been cooking along for so long.
He's
popping in, popping out.
Him and Scotty Barrett would be like 6. It's going to be one of these two. And
Or Akira Ioane as well has been tossed around in there. He's
for a bit though, right? He's
still a brilliant player.
You could say
He is still a brilliant player.
popping in, popping out like Janet Jackson's breast at the Super Bowl and stuff.
Yeah.
If we stay on the breast thing, if we can maybe segue that.
Yeah,
please,
it's
Sam?
a good segue in there.
Say that again with Janet Jackson. Do
So
it.
they've been sort of popping in and popping out of the team, very similar to Janet Jackson's breast at the Timberlake, courtesy of the Timberlake in the Super Bowl. I was just
Do
thinking,
it again. Do it again. Do it again.
okay.
Do it again. Do it again.
He's sort of been, Akira Ioane's sort of been popping in and out of the team over the years, quite similarly to Janet Jackson's breast at the Super Bowl, courtesy of Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, nice.
Smooth.
That was really good.
That's good, yeah.
Did you like that one?
I did, actually.
I still sort
me
of
too.
cooked it, to be honest.
I think with Shannon Frizzell, that's the game where it's the statement game, isn't it? It's it's my jersey game. It's the best the blindside flanker has played since the Jerome Kano in the 2011
It's your
World Cup
Carter,
semi.
Carter in the 2005 Lions game. Carter's did that game and you're like, oh shit, yeah, this guy's going to be around. Then Shannon Frizzell's done the same thing in the 6 jersey in this game.
Yeah, it was pretty monstrous. It did remind me of that Wallabies game you mentioned, McOnie, where I think Jerome Kano picked up, was it Digby Ioane, and said,
Ioane.
"Not today, Ioane," and marched him off like a petulant schoolboy.
Yeah, he just
away
lifted him up and just went, we're not going that way, we're going this way, okay? And he started doing beep, beep. It's like, there is nothing like a crowd for picking it up.
and putting it down.
Yeah, it was great stuff to see. And it did remind you of that, just the absolute violence.
Yeah. And then
It's good.
also,
It's good to see some violence in our favourite game, right? Getting people out there just beating the shit out
But it's
of
the
each
thing
other.
that we have sort of lacked. Like, if you think of that 2019 England World Cup semi-final that we lost, we just weren't abrasive enough. We were smashed out of everything. They just kind of weren't tough enough.
we got beasted.
We got beasted. And then now Shannon Frizzell is showing some beast of his own. And it's just good to see some bestiality in the team. That's what I like to see.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Have I used that word incorrectly?
No, I think it
that's
was
right.
correctly.
I think
I'm just
that's
excited
right.
about seeing a bit more of it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if they get the koala, that's maybe something else they could do before they slit its throat.
That would really be one way to show the Australians who's boss. Hey, guys, welcome to Melbourne. Thanks for having us here. We've actually got one of your Indigenous animals. Hey, Scott Barrett, you're up.
Yeah. Dog roll.
Dog roll.
Dogrophilia.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how they call it? Some people call it bestiality, like it's the best.
Who calls it that?
Dogrophilia
Some
says, she says, it's just another Sunday afternoon. Rolf, Rolf. Yeah.
I always thought Will Jordan did look like the lead singer of Zed.
A little bit.
Oh, actually, there we go.
Same Christchurchy thing going on. Dan Carter's in the similar vibe.
Circle of
Yeah,
life.
Dan Carter, when he had a sort of spiky mullet back in the day, very similar
Yeah.
to
Nathan
Zed.
from Zed. That's his name.
So if Kane, sorry, he's not playing. Frizzell, if Dick Frizzell takes the number 6,
Yeah.
and you've got Captain Kane number 7, you can't take the number 8 off Artie.
No.
I feel like we're locking in players
That's
all.
a
we're really
back
locking
row,
in.
yeah.
That's a locked in back row.
I want
But
to
then the locks means there's drama.
Yeah.
Because you've got that 3-way between.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in this
Whoa,
3-way?
whoa.
Dog roll, Lurch, and Sam Whitelock. What a sausage sizzle that would
Mate,
be.
my
there'd be
God.
a few people queuing up to be in that 3-way. I tell you what, they'd love to get thrown around in that action. But I think it's perfect. Those are the 3 players you want in my mind.
Yeah.
You start Sam and Lurch, and then Dog rolls on the bench. He's able to cover that 6 position. It's kind of perfect how the way that it's working out. Because when he was starting at 6, it left us a little exposed. But him coming off the bench, and
Imagine
he's
him
so
coming
good.
on with 20 minutes to go, and you've got a fully jazzed up Scott Barrett. He's just fucked a koala. He's ready to go.
I
he
saw
just come
him.
over. It's
I saw a
smashing.
picture of the Barrett brothers with the Freedom Cup filled with beer, which they love to do, and God, what I wouldn't do to have a little drink out of it. But the Geordie and Bodie had their shirts on. Scott had his shirt off, and I have never seen more defined cum gutters in all my time.
Yes.
It is outrageous. He is absolutely.
He's been chiseled out of
ripped.
marble, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's crazy. There's like 2 centimeters of. I don't even know how you do it.
They need to get sponsored by, is it Marley, the guttering and stuff?
Yeah.
Because there's so much
Or
guttering
the,
there.
The witch, gutter witch.
Gutter witch. Yeah.
Get one of those in there.
He
He could smuggle stationery into exams.
True, he could.
I don't know why you'd smuggle stationery in, Sam. You're allowed
Yeah,
stationery in.
you're allowed to take as much as you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's sort of one of the perks.
Yeah. Should you start Dogrel though, because he's been so good against the big forwards?
Yeah.
And I know. Look. When the Springboks brought on their freaks off the bench, huge bitch of RG Stamen.
Snyman, what a guy.
And then Peter Steph Dutoy, he's been the Rugby Player of the Year before. Like, that's just freaking monsters. Malcolm Marks, massive monster cock as well. Vincent Cock came on. Yeah, this is terrible stuff. But anyway, the thing is, like, they do have this crazy size that they bring to the table. In the end, you almost need to see what they're doing with their team, and you bring Dogrel to battle because he is the beast.
Yeah.
In our tight fight.
What are they doing having all those players on the bench? That's what I still don't understand. The game was too far gone by the time they unleashed the freaks.
Yeah.
And Savage played Tell Me Where the Freaks Are At, and they let those big boys on. And you saw the game change. You saw them come on. They were hitting the rucks like a whole different team. They scored a try, got back to, I think, 15-20 at one stage, and then luckily we were able to extend and put it beyond doubt from there. But you were just thinking, man, imagine if these guys were on at the start of the game. Who knows what would have happened? I'm glad they weren't.
But then they would have been swapped out with someone else later on in the game. You just get the same thing.
But you're already too far gone. You're chasing the game by that stage. When they come on, you're so far behind.
Yeah.
I want to see Jacobson play.
So do I.
He's incredible. Is he the guy that's...
Who do you put him on for, I guess? That's your classic thing.
That has to be Artie.
Well, you've got Dalton Papali'i as well
true.
off the bench, so you're not going to move him, are you? Because I feel like Dalton is of all our loose forwards coming off the bench, he's the most likely game breaker. You know, he's got the wheels. He's just got he'll be close to the ball. You know, you sometimes see, I think even for the Chiefs I don't want to have to relive this, but that Super Rugby final, they made the move of putting Samapeni Finau on the bench, and when he came on, it was the game was just kind of chaotic. And it was hard for him to get into the game, whereas, you know, that was a call they made to go with the big old Peter Gus stubby cooler, the big unit. But then I feel like impact player needs to be someone who you know is going to get close to the ball, who's going to use their athleticism straight away. Boom, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No point bringing on somebody who's going to get stuck in the graft.
Well, that's why I think that, to go back to an earlier point of starting with Sam Whitelock, because I guess you're always going to have Lurch on there. Maybe Sam's going to get older, he might play a few less minutes, but you're not going to bring him on as an impact player because he's just a classic grinder. So he'll start, and then Scott Barrett can come and do that role where he comes in and smashes the shit out of a couple of people.
Yeah. Whitelock could play all day.
Breaks a bottle over a guy's head.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Would be good if one player got to have a bottle on them.
I reckon everyone is allowed one bottle. So you're allowed to bottle one person of choice throughout the game.
Yeah.
That's great. I always said that cricket would be really good if all the other batsmen were allowed on the field and they're allowed to tackle the other fielders. That'd be awesome.
It would make for a chaotic game.
When I saw, the Bairstow run out the other day, the stumping, and everyone said he was just going to talk to his mate, and I thought, actually, it didn't look like a cricket thing. But then you look back on YouTube through all the old cricket injustices, the run-outs that shouldn't have happened. A lot of them are from collisions, sometimes with fielders. And, you know, I saw, who was it? Someone that might have been...
Side bottom?
Old school. Yeah, it was side bottom.
Side bottom.
But Viv Richards refused to take the bails off when somebody collided with him. You know,
so
they even just... Yeah, so he but then it's cricket, exactly. But then there were lots of people getting colliding and then getting run out. And I was thinking... Well, why don't we just put Ross Taylor at fucking silly point and just get him to smash, fold some fucking ball, you know, like just go nuts and, you know, and anyone else who fancies himself. I feel like Southie's played a bit of rugby, but he's a little bit fragile to me.
We should get a specific player in for this. Kieran Reid's played cricket to a fairly high level, I believe. I mean, he's lost a bit of weight now, but he can put it back on, have a late swing, sort of become a double international a la Jeff Wilson, but he fields in early. In nice and close, and they drop for a quick single, and he says, "Not today, fellas." Boom!
Well, you can have an emergency fielder, of course.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Great.
You just carry that's the guy. You carry.
Forget about it. Go get Ben Tumiafuna in there.
Yeah.
And just have him running at people, running it straight.
No, I think you're pretty bang on with it. Yeah, obviously Ben, if you're looking for an emergency runner who you know isn't going to get stopped, but. I think Eye Sockets is probably your perfect man because they're going to be as big as Ben Stokes, right? So that's the guy you got to take down. So it's a perfect job for Eye Sockets.
I got a humiliating story that I can tell about Eye Sockets Reid. I was playing for the ACC 11 haven't told the story before to anyone apart from my wife when I got home. And playing for the team, we're out in the field. Kieran Reid was captaining. G-Lane was out there. He was sort of running the cutter, and it was sort of getting to the spicy part of the game where we're working out, who needed a bowl the last few overs. I hadn't had a bowl. Everyone has to have a bowl. And I heard Kieran Reid say to G-Lane, he goes, "Oh, what about Tony? Should we chuck Tony the ball?" And they didn't know I could see them. They looked over, and I saw them both look at me, and then they both laughed and put their head down and threw the ball to someone else. And I had to give myself a little G up and be like, I just got openly laughed at by former All Black captain and your childhood hero, Kieran Reid. Oh, come on. We got back, and I ended up having a bowl and didn't go too bad. So it worked out well, but there was that moment of extreme doubt.
Oh, my God.
Why was there someone batting at that point who was on fire and they just didn't want to
it was just getting very tight, and so I guess we wanted to bowl them out, wanted to get there. I actually only got hit for 3 off my over, so
Oh, shit, that's a good over.
Yeah, I don't want to brag or anything. It was a miracle. It was an absolute miracle.
That's because the ball bounced 9 times before it hit the wicket. It just sort of rolled in. They couldn't really chip it.
It actually was so slow that he was he missed the first few because they were coming at him so slow.
That's great.
And it would pitch and it would go even slower. So he's doing these big swings and he's like, when's this ball going to get here?
That's the way to
do it. Do a double swinger for it.
No spin, no nothing.
Right.
Just absolutely just as slow as an object can move in
Autumn leaves, though, called. Autumn leaves. So this is the thing. If you play a social T20, which I've done once for the ACC, all these other teams, they bowl autumn leaves. And so we had, I think G-Lane likes to sort of bend the back a little bit. And we had, I'm trying to think of the guy. He was props boy from back in the day.
Mikey
Carpenter. So I was keeping, and I was happy to keep. But then Mikey's coming in, like fucking steaming in, like he's fucking Lockie Ferguson. Is it Lockie Ferguson? Anyway, he's coming in, and it's like zinging. I'm going, shit, I'm not here for this shit. But of course, they were playing and missing a lot.
Yeah.
But every time they connected, because it's only, I think, 8 fielders or 7 fielders in last man stands, was going for a boundary. Yeah. So you're better off doing the little droopy autumn leaves, which is what most teams are actually doing, because the openers get frustrated and they usually hole out if they, just finally go, fuck this shit.
Yeah, and they smack it. There's no pace on the ball at all, so it just goes straight up.
They have to generate all the pace, so they're usually pissed off. So and I think we've had, if in the ACC team, autumn leaves bowlers, Matt Heath, definitely autumn leaves. Yes. Scotty J. Stevenson, autumn leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking there's another one Lee Hart's a bit of a magical mystery, because he's usually, he likes to have a few before he bowls. Yeah. And so you're never quite sure what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mystery, Lee Hart.
I've heard old Di Henwood fires a few real fast.
Yeah, he can whip it in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Manai Stewart as well can bowl a lovely little stock wrongin.
Yeah.
Very good.
We have veered into cricket territory.
We have.
Guys, I've got great news.
What's this?
The CAB Good Punt came in.
Oh, yes!
We covered ourselves in glory. We won $923, of course, betting $100 bonus bets on the All Blacks to score the first try, exact the first points, and also the Wallabies in their game against Argentina, which they did, and then they went on and lost the whole game. I don't know, did either of you guys watch that game?
I watched the end, yeah.
It was wild stuff. I think thought the Narwhal thought he'd won it for Australia in his first game at home soil. Almost fell off the desk, got so excited. And I literally almost fell over. I'm jazzed up. I was hoping Argentina would win. It was topsy-turvy. It was a real ding-dong. And then, boom, they came back and won it.
It was great. It was a great game. I love seeing Australia lose.
It's hard not. So, you know how you feel about watching Australia lose?
Yeah.
That's how all other 4 Super Rugby teams feel when the Crusaders lose. I just want you to know that.
Oh, I get it now.
So when the Highlanders knock over the Crusaders, I'd say it's even bigger, but it's that same feeling of Schadenfreude that you're feeling now for Australia to lose. That we feel when the Crusaders lose.
Yeah, okay.
The one thing about that game is that if you look at the way the Pumas played, obviously feeling quite good about themselves, happy to be in Sydney. I think the Mendoza game, they probably knew that it was a step too far. The best chance was obviously sending on a pitch invader, maybe to destabilise the All Blacks for next time. But this, if you look at the match up, you actually sort of think, Argentina you know, player for player, you're kind of liking them. I mean, I know there's some good Australian players, but none of them are sort of that fearsome. I haven't seen Will Skelton play for a while, so he's sort of coming back into it.
When I heard his name, I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
He's back?
So they've tried to bring in some big units to battle all the freaks who are out there at the moment. But then, I don't know, I prefer Tate McDermott as the best number 9. I know the time travel is good, but I prefer the cabin boy.
Yeah.
And always have. And and so I think that if they make a few adjustments, they still need to. They're missing Tongan Thor.
Yeah, they really are.
They're missing him. They're missing Jordan Patai, who's the X factor in the backs. And to be honest, they've got to try and do something else. Are they some of those players from the Reds who are actually really good? You know, some of those private schoolboys, the Harry Wilsons, who's probably gone to a really well-paid bank job. Will he take a pay cut and come back to the Wallabies?
Well, you certainly hope so if you were a Wallabies fan, but it's hard to get that tie off once it goes on. He certainly looks the part. I thought it was trouble. I thought it was an interesting comment from Eddie Jones after it when he said that the All Blacks better look out this week.
Yeah.
He sort of had the vibe of like, you know, it's not so bad. Yeah. And if I was the All Blacks, I'd be bloody careful.
I'd be watching out because I'm going to poison them before the game. Yeah. That's what I have to resort to now.
And I don't want to underestimate the Wallabies. They're still the Wallabies. You never know what could happen.
On literal, they can beat people on, like, they can be the worst team in the world and then bring in, like, the greatest performance of all time.
But is he the greatest villain? He has to be one of the greatest villains,
right? We've got Eddie Jones up against Michael Cheika in a game as well.
Crazy.
I'm like, I don't want either of these teams to win. If this could be a 0-0 draw, that somehow the ref scores a try somehow and the ref wins, I'd be into that.
I would love to go on a bender with Eddie Jones and Michael Cheika. I reckon away from rugby, just a couple of bottles of red wine, some dinner, I reckon the chat would be great. I think the vibe would be hot.
I reckon you chuck in Rasi Erasmus because of the dancing and stuff. Have you seen his Twitter videos of him just like, and it's sort of old school disco moves as well.
Yeah, it's great.
He'll be searching out some nightclubs, and that's why I think you need Rasi there.
I do, though, wonder in that scenario, I feel like I'd be the obvious old one. I don't know what I'd talk to them about. You know, they'd obviously have rugby coaching.
Do you guys like stand-up comedy?
And I'd be off to the side being like,
jokes.
do you want some more wine? Yeah, should I get more wine? Yeah, I'll make you a sandwich. Yeah, sweet as. I'll go get sorted over there.
Have you guys listened to my podcast?
Yeah, they probably have. I'd say that Rusty's probably listening to this at the moment. Sort of.
He's listening to get the insight into what the All Blacks are up to. Yeah, from us guys. Yeah, the front row. Yeah, are we still called that?
No, you can't just do a mid-podcast rebrand.
No, it's just, we're now the front row is signing off. Are we signing off as the front row?
We're signing off.
We've got to do it.
I think we need to check this IP. I'm certain this IP exists somewhere else. Someone else is going to have us for breakfast. Unlike the Champagne Rugby Podcast, which also exists somewhere else, but, you know, fuck them, they're in another country.
Yeah. Man, Argentina in World Cup years, man, you'd be nervous about them. They came third one time, I remember.
They did.
That's pretty high up for Argentina.
That's certainly high up.
And so, be wary of Argentina.
It's no second, though.
Isn't it weird that Ireland and France are the two top-ranked teams at the moment?
Yeah.
We're going into a World Cup. They are the top two ranked teams. They've never won a World Cup before. I hope they don't win one.
Well,
it's a strange place that we're in, especially with we're playing amazing and Springboks playing
the
pretty
sort of
amazing.
World Cup where, you know, obviously want us to be there at the final, but you know, if it's not to be, then it could be one of those like finals where there's two teams who've never won it before.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't want France to win, but I wouldn't mind Ireland winning. I feel like they've earned it because they've been shit at World Cups for all the other years as well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people travelling to France, journalists, sort of sponsory sort of type people going there for the quarterfinal, semi-final, final, and it feels like a bit like the old 07, which was the World Cup when Argentina finished third, by the way.
Yes.
The fullback Ignacio Corletto with the amazing flowing locks. I loved him. And who did they have? They had a Hernandez, didn't they, kicking all the goals?
Yeah.
Look, this is the thing. It's doesn't matter who we've got in the quarterfinal. It's a massive squeaky bum game. The sphinctometer will be going off because it has to be either. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it's out of Ireland and South Africa, you'd think.
Yeah.
Or if Scotland get up. It's because they've got the pool of death, those guys.
And man, Scotland's fifth place in the world at the moment. They're the fifth ranked team. Scotland is, which is crazy. They're above England and Australia and all the traditional rivals.
I think that Pool C that has Australia in it, God, I would certainly love to see Fiji and Wales qualify out of that pool and Australia to not even make it out of the pool. I think that'd be very funny.
That would be
I think
funny.
Fiji, they deserve it, man. They play well. The Endurance been gelling this year. Who knows? Maybe it could be just a thing to get them over the line.
Oh, you'd love to see Fiji up there. That'd be brilliant.
Just trying to look at this pool of death. Is this the France? Oh, sorry. South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga. Get Tonga in there.
I can't believe. And how have we been in the same pool as France every year?
Certainly seems it.
Every single time. We definitely were in
And
20
Italy.
And Italy, yes, you're right. And Namibia as well, actually. We often
And
play
Uruguay. Why not chuck it in there?
And Uruguay. All of them.
We are
okay,
getting a sidetrack, though. We can probably do the Rugby World Cup podcast closer to Rugby World Cup time when people start giving a real shit about that. The next game is not this weekend, so you can call your Jets this weekend. It's next weekend in Melbourne at the MCG. The All Blacks playing Australia. And I'm going to call it early. I think it's going to be another 13-plus victory.
To Australia.
No, to the All Blacks.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's probably smart.
Also, can I give a shout out to Black Ferns captain Ruahei Demant for saying that they took lessons out of the game, not learnings.
Yeah.
So just a round of applause for Ruahei. Just pretty much, really that's heroic stuff.
Yeah.
It's really tough for rugby players to say lessons instead of learning. So, that's a big time play from her.
See, I don't mind it. People get really up in arms about this sort of stuff, but I say language evolves. We just got to learn to evolve and carry on, and it's fine. Doesn't matter.
I reckon you're fucking wrong, Tony Lyall. People should respect the English language.
And you know what? I agree with you, Tony Lyall, but that's just me. We're just coming up with it's something that you don't hear very often, isn't it? Really,
you're right. And also the Black Ferns, how good winning against Canada. Winning against USA in Canada. Down at half time, I checked my phone. I was about to head out, and they were losing. They were down 17-5, I think, at half time. And I thought, oh, shit, here we go. So we just started following it on my phone as I went about my daily tasks on Saturday. And then they let the dogs out in the second half and ended up really giving it to them. And I almost felt sorry for the American team. They would have been like, we're on here, guys. We're on here. We're going to knock them over. We're going to knock out the world champs. Oh, no. They scored try after try after try and made a bit of a field day out of it in the end, won comfortably. But the Black Ferns sort of showing them how it's done over there in Canada, playing on like the weirdest coloured field I've ever seen. It's like
AstroTurf sort of thing, isn't it?
Oh, that makes all the sense. I was like, is my TV broken? It looks like dull green colour, but it's AstroTurf. Okay, that checks.
Also, Renee Holmes still amazing.
She's
the level's so high. But unearthing a new star, Sylvia Brunt, the sort of Matanonu of that team now. But is she 19?
Yeah,
it's crazy. So the talent's there. I'm so glad to see them sort of it's almost like a victory lap tour, isn't it?
It really is.
Smashing people all around the world.
And they've still got it as well. I think that's the thing is that, obviously they rose to a pinnacle after playing pretty poorly the year before, and they got back there for that World Cup, played great, and you were sort of hoping, was it just the occasion that got them there? And they've sort of shown that it isn't by, smacking the pants off these other two teams. So it's good to see. Great
learnings today, guys.
Great learnings.
All right. Let's wrap up this front row.
All right, we'll pack down and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Go the boys and go the girls. And Sam's got something to say.
Yeah, so we've got the World Cup coming up, and I thought, do you know what we need? We need a song, right? We need a song to gather everyone together in New Zealand so that we can get behind the All Blacks, we can support them. And I think the thing is about these songs that they're always a bit blah. They're always a bit, oh, come on, guys, you can play good and stuff. And I thought, it's just not confident enough. So I've written what I believe is probably the most confident supporters song the world has ever known.
Wait, is it, whoa, Griswiley, slam the lamb? It's not that?
It's even better, I'll have to say. Okay. So,
can I also ask, is it the same song that any listeners of this podcast in a previous life may have already heard?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Okay.
But what I've done is I recorded it properly with my really awesome band, and we're called The Itch. We're really good. And please enjoy It's in the Bag, Boys.
From the very first time back in '87, back to back in 15 and 11. We had it in the bag and we'll have it again. Cause we got the spirit and we got the men. Cause we are the fastest, we are the greats. We hit the big hits right out the gates. We kick the furthest, we jump the highest. Look out opponents, there will be no survivors. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. Cause we are the best and we can't be defeated. If ever we lose, man, the other team cheated. 2023, there's only one place to be, with the RWC and a nice cup of tea. Cause we only settle when we win first place. So get the word winners tattooed over your face. We never falter, we never relax, cause no one beats the All Blacks. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys, it's in the bag. It's in the bag, boys.